Hello. Welcome, everybody. I'm super excited to be moderating this next panel on how to PR yourself. I'm on stage with 3 esteemed experts in the Web3 PR space. So let's start off with a quick round of intros. My name's Incheta Da Silva. I'm a SheFi alum from Cohort 8. I co-lead the SheFi Investment Cluster Series, and I'm a finance director for my brand, Zola Reeve, which is in dire need of some PR tips. So over to you.
Me? Okay, I'm Maria. I'm in the space since 2018, which means 35 years. I started my career in DeFi, and I've never left as a marketer, even if I'm also involved in a lot of community and editorial projects as well. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Samantha. I'm the founder and CEO of Yap Global. We've been doing PR for crypto projects for 6 years. So got in the space in 2017. Earliest clients were in early Ethereum. We're now the PR partners of ETHCC. We've been PR partners for the last 4 years. So yeah, it's great to be here in Brussels. And also we're really pleased to be the official PR partners of SheFi. So thank you, Maggie, for entrusting us. And yeah, been doing PR just for many years in this space. So happy to lend any tips.
And sorry, just to interrupt there, Samantha's just had a baby, so she's back from maternity leave.
Thank you. And there's
the baby there.
The baby's at the back over there. So Astrid, baby Astrid. And there's another one coming, our friend.
She'll be on the way next year. She'll be with me on stage next year. Hi, my name is Erica Kang. I'm the founder and CEO of Crypto Planet, Crypto Soul. I'm the host of Middle Asia Conference, ETH Soul, also SheFi Soul Summit. So I just hosted. Woohoo! I just hosted the first Soul Summit in April, and it was amazing success. And I see many familiar faces who attended. So yeah, thank you for that. But really good to be in Brussels with amazing, women. I'm a community builder by heart. I've been in this space since 2017. I've been an independent community builder for projects, being very neutral and also platform agnostic. So yeah, really glad to be here and have a discussion with you guys.
Thank you for those intros, some badass women on stage. So, first question. What are the key elements for building a strong personal brand in the Web3 and crypto space? Who wants to go first?
Should we say one each?
Yeah.
So, for me, transparency, because which is a word that we always also use in the marketing of Web3, right? Being transparent. The whole system was born to be transparent, but also us. For example, I am involved in more than one project, and I have never hid to each of these projects that I'm doing, I'm working for other projects. And you need to be transparent with who we work with, your team, if you have a team under you, and also when you do marketing, be as transparent as possible. So my word is transparency.
My word, if we're going to go off words, is, 2 words, a good story. Everyone has a story. All of you here are building your narrative, your reason for why you got into the space. Even when you hear introductions on the panel, on stage here from the many different speakers today, you always hear about what got them into the space. So stories resonate with people. It's very memorable. And yeah, we love stories. When you tell a good story, you're often relating to that person, and you're often, it's memorable. So build your story, and extra tip here is keep it simple. So always keep it to three key points. When you're networking, meeting people throughout this week, you only really have 2 minutes when you're talking to someone at an event. So yeah, be it's like an elevator pitch of yourself, of your story, and find ways to tell your story in a short, succinct, but very interesting way. So yeah, build your story.
Good words. I resonate with all of them. Very PR professional. Keep it short. But it's really true. One thing that I can add is consistency and passion, because this space can wear you down a lot all year long. Honestly, it's a lot, right? It's just the beginning of the week, but we're bombarded with hundreds of events, and I think to have the passion to really go through all of them, meet amazing people, and really plow it through. I think that really requires passion on your end for a long time, and consistency, because it requires a long period of time of dedication, right? And I think when you say your story, you have to be consistent with it, because every time when you change your story, for example, and you say, oh, I'm at this team, or I'm at I'm doing this now, or I pivoted to this one, and if it changes every single time, it doesn't really stick with you and your branding as well. So for my example, I think I was very simple. I said I'm a community builder. I host technical events for builders, and that was it from day one to now. Even now, I just don't add anything else, and I think that really resonates with a lot of people. So
yeah, I agree, and also be patient. I think. Because it's tough, guys and girls.
It takes time.
It's tough, and you need to. It's a jungle, and you need to be a tiger in the jungle. Yeah.
I love it. So transparency, storytelling, passion and consistency, and patience.
Patience.
Tiger in the jungle. Keep it simple. Yeah, keep it short. I love it. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground there, had lots of questions and kind of overlapping. So you mentioned, or someone might have touched on career path and career growth. And so how does building a personal brand, PR, help someone to grow their career and also be open to new opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, when your story, when you're applying for a job or when you're trying to join a team, it's always important for it to make sense for that team as well. But your story has to kind of resonate and align with that particular, project or that particular protocol. Or even if you want to start your own thing, like if you want to start your own project, having a good story really helps you build your brand and makes you more memorable. So that will help you with your career. Also, whatever you do, it kind of also, playing on the words consistency, it has to make sense. It can't be like, okay, you're building something in DeFi, but then now you're jumping into, I don't know. Well, it could, you could jump into another industry like AI or DeSci, but you have to make a link that joins together. It's like telling a story. It's like when you're writing a story, or if you were to write a book or something. But yeah.
And if I can add, this should not be just a story. This should be backed by
execution.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a story, but it shouldn't be just titles,
Yeah.
So it's not. Sometimes, as a marketers, we tend to go to want a job in the big names. But what does big names do if you didn't do anything there?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, you've got to have work to show for it. So whether it's an event that you managed, or it's a project you built or initiative that you launched, these all add to your portfolio and even just, again, your brand, what you've delivered. So even with PR, for example, with Yap Global, our story, us reaching out to ECC in the early days, no one really, ECC was like a small crypto conference, but now it's just grown. But we backed them in the early days. But we talked about patience, consistency, and it was like, I remember coming to ECC, I had a team of 3. Now I've got an amazing team at the back. Wave girls, I think there's 6 of us, here on the ground. So
I think I'm the case of like literally a personal brand building into a career because I'm still like working alone. I'm still like keeping it very lean, and I think having that presence online or offline has really helped me just shape my career and my brand in terms of execution. So yeah, I think execution for me is key. I keep printing out, like I keep executing stuff. As you can see, I'm pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, and I think that in this space, everyone is so smart, smarter than the average. So if you just talk and you don't do, everybody like you get immediately caught.
It's hard to like say. It's hard to bluff, but if you really execute it, you find it really hard to actually pull all the way through. And once you do that repeatedly, I think that really sticks to the people and like, oh, that's your brand now. That's what you do, and that's what you are passionate about, and that's where your story comes also into place as well. So I think repeat. Yeah.
And with that being said, I know it's, we all jump on Twitter, most of us crypto lives on crypto Twitter at times, and it could look like so much noise, and it could look like, oh, suddenly, like even Erica, for example, ran this amazing event, an amazing conference yesterday. It looks so like amazing, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of behind the scenes work, and what could look like something that appeared suddenly, it's years and months of just building your brand, your community, your connections, your network. So if you don't see the results yet, don't worry, keep going. That's just some encouragement for those of you who are building your brand.
Fantastic, thank you. So you touched on community building, Erica, and I'm sure you both have communities as well. So what strategies do you all recommend for building a community? I mean, is it important in building your personal brand? And then also, how do you foster strong communities?
For me, I started really small. I started hosting monthly meetups back in Seoul for 3 years, like literally every month for 3 years. And back then, nobody had such a consistent meetup brand. And I started with like 40 people, 50 people. It doesn't matter about the quantity. I think it's more about the quality of the events, which speakers, which sponsors you curate with, and whose hearts you touch, basically. And I work with one-on-one interactions, meaning I inspire some like individuals one by one, and it takes a lot of time, and I think it scales eventually, but definitely not suddenly. So it took me several years to literally just get started and to get the hang of events. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'm doing a pretty good job, so maybe I should scale up a little bit more. So I hosted a one-day summit, like 100 people, 120 people, and then it into a 2-day conference, and then a 3-day hackathon. Eat Seoul, that's when it popped out. So it's like incrementally, it get the hang of it, and then you scale. You don't scale right away, right? It's kind of
I think I co-founded Spaghetti, which is another community. I think the point is always patience, consistency, and you need to interest them. Like, being part of a community must give you something back. Like, you need to, like Harley Davidson is the typical case study that you that you get in the business school, no? Like, why do they want to be part of your community? You need to give them reasons, and for example, meetups like. And it could be you need to find the thing and give them.
Yeah, for me it was kind of like, oh, when you come to Erica's event, you meet great people, and that's like ensured. Like,
the reason.
Yeah, no Schiller. Well, Schillers are important, but like builders mostly. A lot of people who mean well with good intentions, right? So
yeah.
And just to switch gears a little bit, Maria, on the PR side, it's not so much. So we have clients, we're like a services business, so we offer PR services to our clients, and it kind of comes with your work. So your reputation will follow you, and people will often, before they work with us, people will talk about how it is like to work with Yap Global. They'll be like, how are they on the PR side? So we really have to show that we're delivering good work, and so it is. It is a hard work. It is just constantly trying to deliver for each of our clients, and we've just gotten referrals, and they've come around, but it's taken also years to build.
Word of mouth, right?
Yeah, word of
very,
mouth.
very important.
Yeah, so your reputation is really important in the crypto space as well, because the industry is small, so people
talk.
do talk.
Especially founders too. Like I got so many referrals from founders. So like, oh, this founder said you were great, so like I want to be a speaker at your event.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
It just like snowballs really quickly.
Fantastic. So credibility, consistency, patience, those same themes come along. So I was going to ask Erica, so, crypto Planet, ETH Soul, so you've managed, you've done the work, right? You've got the credibility. And is that how you've managed to attract the big players in the crypto space, like Vitalik and other big names to your community events?
I think before I built the brand, I think I focused on more one-on-one interactions, and I contributed a lot to other communities as well. Not only building mine, but simultaneously, I was a contributor to many, many other meetups. Like, for example, I was emceeing at DEF CON. And that's when I actually, interacted more closely with Vitalik as well. But, I was just a volunteer to so many good quality events. And naturally, you become, embraced with all these amazing fellow...
You become friends.
Yeah, you become friends.
Yeah.
You're backstage, you're like fixing their mic, and they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's kind of like strike up a good conversation. And that, follows up into, okay, what are you doing now? What are you building now? And then, that's really...
I think you need to get your hands dirty also with this kind of things because you need to practice and see how it looks like before you are but also when you are organizing, like Maggie is, I don't know where she is now, but she is the one pinging people on Telegram now, when she has a team working at this conference. And I think what Erica just said is definitely true. I also volunteer. Also last year I volunteered, this year at Denver, even if, but I enjoy it still now because you meet new people in this way.
Yeah, I run a company. I still volunteer. I helped ETH Denver earlier this year.
Yeah.
We were helping programming, and that wasn't in our scope. But I loved it because I got to learn.
It was a pain in the ass,
and
but we loved it.
Yeah, you have to. It was intense, but you have to keep. It's like being a doctor, how you have to keep studying, right? Like in crypto, you have to keep studying because there'll be new trends coming up. Like now it's about open source AI.
Yeah, and I think it's more like you think of volunteering as giving, but actually it's more about earning on my end because I can actually fill up what I need more, which is A, network, B, experience, and you can see behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So you can actually roll up your own stuff, and it gives you a really good foundation to build your own brand, right? And what's missing, what I can add value to, and you can really reiterate that. And so I think it's a good backbone, being a contributor, being like available out there, saying, hey, I have these skill sets. Can I please add value here to minimal? It doesn't need to be huge as well. It could be just a small contribution, but you're welcomed. You're definitely needed. So I think that will be a good asset to.
And also it adds to the things that we were mentioning before, the reputation and your story, because like Samantha and Maria and Erica are helping at this conference, emceeing at this conference is good to hear, rather than they are just behind their laptops tweeting and organizing.
Okay, we have less than a minute left. I'm going to squeeze in one quick question. Oh, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So I was going to ask you questions, but one question, please, to the panel.
Thank you so much. That was really wonderful. I'm someone who's headed in the world of PR as well in Web3. My question is, how do you cultivate media relations in a beneficial manner so that people actually want to hear the stories? Thank you.
Yeah, so it's all about being newsworthy, because a lot of, journalists, for example, we just had Eliza on the panel earlier, and her editors and her bosses are like, you need to write newsworthy stories. So what's newsworthy? So newsworthy is what is new, what's maybe something that's out of the ordinary, what's not been said before. And so you kind of have to tweak your story, and there's always a way to spin a story. I will say that as a PR person. But there's a way to spin your story so that you're relevant for the current narrative. So the way to get in front of the media and journalists it's basically a way to craft your story, and there's always a way to do it. Like we help projects that have no brand get, on CoinDesk or like the Block, all these mainstream top-tier trade publications in crypto. So yeah, that's the answer to your question shortly.
Thank you, everybody. Round of applause for Erica, Samantha, and Maria.
Thank you.